what I want you guys to do is we've got 3 experts here on our panel. 3 experts from 3 different companies. They are not sponsoring us, okay? We've taken in no money. It's not about selling their product. It's about answering your questions. So I want, I've got somebody from Sydney, Australia and Malaysia. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And Alabama and Florida, okay? Got to balance this out. But we want to know your questions as well. This is very important. This is all about streaming your classes for profit. And it's interesting, just this morning I always read Bloomsburg, and I also listen to it and watch videos that they post or articles and read the articles they post. And they just posted something today that 30% of the health clubs are not going to be opening back up. 30%. And one of the reasons why is people have learned to work out in their homes, and they want to work out in their homes. So we've got solutions for you, and that's the whole goal of this webinar. Streaming your classes online for profit. Now more than ever, group fitness instructors and personal trainers both need to adapt to streaming their classes and their programs online. They can do this from the club. They can do it from their home. You guys can do it from your backyard. I took yoga this morning in the backyard of a friend of mine. Social distance. We were all actually 8 feet apart because we're a little neurotic. And my yoga instructor also streamed it from the backyard. It's very cool. So the other thing is, if you find it difficult asking for money or donations for your program, we've got to start charging you guys. We're providing a valuable commodity right now for people's home. And we've been providing everything free on Facebook Live and Zoom and whatever modalities. But we need to figure out how to charge for it and find systems that are easy to use and accessible. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Paddy. And I'm going to say, Paddy, do me a favor. Tell me, Paddy, I'm going to give you a little bio. He's with Uscreen, which is out of Washington, D.C., and I believe you're in their marketing department, Paddy. And,
yeah, that's right.
And it's a video on-demand company that helps people launch their own apps and online video streaming services. So tell me, just what is the focus of Uscreen?
Yeah, so we want to help gyms, yoga, fitness professionals, other studios monetize their expertise online. So if you've been working offline and doing in-person classes, and you want to be able to take that online or replicate parts of that experience, we can show you how to do that through our platform. It's all in one. It has the marketing, it has the platform, the video delivery, the live chat, the community building, and it's all rolled into one. And you sign up for one fee. It starts at $99 a month, and then it obviously scales up depending on the features you want. But it's super easy, super easy to use. And we've got, some of the, quite frankly, some of the biggest names in yoga using our platform. If you go to YouTube and search, yoga, it's like Sarah Beth Yoga, Yoga with Adrienne, they're all working with us, using their, using our platform.
So you've got, Susie streaming from her backyard, or I should say Kristen, my yoga instructor, streaming. And you've also got these Instagram stars doing this.
Yeah.
And somebody just said, I think it was Teresa, she's from the DC area, would love to learn more. And you can see Beth is working this webinar with us today. And Beth put the link in for Uscreen, so you guys can check that out. The next person I wanted to talk to was Victoria Lovering, and she provides expert guidance to the fitness studios who use Punchpass software for booking, payments, tracking. And basically, Victoria, I think one of the focuses of what you guys do is helping people to monetize their classes, meaning Robin just wrote in there, she's been streaming and giving away her classes for free. Robin, she's like, how do I start charging? Oh my God, I've been asking donations. How do I do this? So Victoria, what would you suggest for someone like Robin?
Yeah, absolutely. We work with a lot of people like Robin all the time, moving them from online or in person, and then looking to do a little bit more, maybe have a little bit more control over not just their classes and their schedule, but also their payments. So Punchpass is a class management system. We support online classes, in-person classes, pre-recorded classes as well in our content library, and the ability to integrate directly with Zoom, as well as the ability to work with any online streaming platform that you prefer, is available with Punchpass. And with our system, it helps with online reservations, and that's where you can really enforce the payment situation. So you can require people to pay and require people to pay the right amount for your class offerings.
Yeah,
so
we
if
were
you have different
talking,
pricing levels, we can do that.
Yeah, Victoria, we were chatting. We had kind of like just a get together on Friday of this past week, and Victoria was saying some people charge $100 for their class and can do something like a week long or a month long, and then other people can do as low as, Victoria, what would you say?
Sure. I mean, we've seen people do, I've seen $25 a month. I've seen $150 a month. So, a lot of people, it's going to be depending on what you're offering and what that offering involves, and how much, how often you offer classes. That, of course, could depend on how you want to do it. But people can do it on an unlimited kind of monthly or weekly option. You can also do virtual punch cards. So if people want to buy a 10-pack of classes, a 5-pack of classes, you can price that accordingly.
And that's important for you guys at home to figure out. Are you going to be posting 3 times a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? Are you only going to be doing it in the morning? Are you also going to be doing it in the evening? Are you going to be offering lunchtime? So providing the variety. And also, I would personally recommend that you look at the facility that you were teaching at and see what they are charging, and look in your hometown, see what like the YMCA is charging, but then look at what Core Power Yoga is charging in this at a boutique private facility. So if you're trying to figure this out, look in your community, because that's kind of the best way to at least determine an equitable value and figure this out. Now, we've also got Brett, and it's Maloley.
Maloley.
Okay, I'm
Close
doing
enough.
good here.
Yeah.
I'm trying. He spent nearly 2 decades in the health and wellness industry as a founder and chief executive and angel investor and advisor to some of the industry's most innovative companies. And I know he's going to share this with you, but he really spearheads what's called Burn Along. And I believe Burn Along actually is great for facilities to operate as well as independent instructors, right?
Yeah, so Burn Along is a platform that ideally makes it easy for either facilities or instructors to enable access to what they're doing without having to do too much marketing or acquisition. So from the instructor standpoint, there's no cost. They can upload videos onto our platform, and then they get paid per view, similar to Spotify. From a health club standpoint, the partnership is slightly different, where we're working with them to drive additional monetization to their in-person classes, if you will.
So what I like about this is I don't have to do my marketing, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of us on this webinar, I'm sure, are private instructors or private studio owners and may not have the budget for the marketing and may not have the budget for, alternate, promotions. But you're saying that they can load their sessions on, and then what is usually charged for the classes? I assume they set their own pricing. And
so there's 2 different ways they could use it. They could just put their content on the platform, in which case they're going to get paid on a per view basis. So they're not doing any selling, any setting of prices whatsoever. Or they can actually sell it to their clients if they already have a base of clients. So it's really 2 finitely different strategies. One being, I want new clients, but I'm not a marketer per se. Simply put your videos up on the platform and get paid for that. If you do already have a book of business and existing clients, there's also really cool ways that you can monetize that.
Now, it's interesting. I just heard from Nancy. Nancy says she's doing classes on Zoom. She's asking for donations. She's making more money doing that than she ever made working at a health club or a private fitness facility. I'm going to encourage you, Nancy, you better keep accurate records, because even those donations, you have to declare it for tax purposes. But it's very, very important to notice what's happening in society at this point, where things are opening up and people are clamoring to go back. So some of these classes that you're asking for donations for, we need to think of shifting it so that you can do it within the facility, but also so that you can do it and people can find you, and it's a professional way for them to hear you and listen. We had some questions, Patty, about, there's a question about music, the best, the cheapest licensing for upbeat tunes. I've been using Power Music for the past 12 weeks, but looking for a long-term solution. I would recommend, we're going to try to do a webinar with Yes Music and Power Music so that they can explain these to you, but those are the two best companies I would recommend that you go to. What are the systems? How are the systems used? Like, I think, Victoria, you said that any system that they're used to using, like if they're using Zoom, or if they're using, I don't know, maybe it's Facebook Live, whatever they're using to film their classes on Punchpass, they can use that and just load it up there. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two different things that we're kind of talking about here. So if you're doing a live streaming class where the instructor is getting on, similar to what we're doing right now, but they're leading the class live, we have direct integration with Zoom. And then we also have, if you don't want to directly integrate with Zoom, or you want to use a different tool like Skype, like Facebook Live, like Google Meet, you can do that. You just have to add your links to your classes. And then when people book, make sure that they pay in order to book. And then they'll receive the links via email from the confirmation. And so that's a really great way that they can take the class and do live classes. But we also have a recorded content library where people can also, even if they just record a class from their phone or computer, they can upload it right into the system and have a library of pre-recorded classes.
Now, I also understand that you have the ability to help them charge, like if they use Square or
Stripe is the other payment tool we directly.
And you like Stripe?
Yeah, we really like Stripe. They do a really good job of helping out, especially if you're doing ongoing memberships. So recurring payments where it saves their credit card and charges based on on your process for membership. So monthly, weekly, however you set that up. So we work with those two, and basically you can require them to pay and get the pass in their system or the membership in their system in order to book into the class. So the system will do the work for you. You won't have to go in and call people or message people and ask them to pay after the fact. Although if you prefer doing that, you are welcome to do that. We're pretty flexible.
Yeah, but the nice thing is we really do have to start charging, and that's important. And a lot of smaller, let's say boutique studios or independent health clubs don't have the understanding or the connections to be able to set this up. Brett, how do you work with a facility to get Burn Along up and running for them?
Yeah, so it is a pretty high touch experience. We work directly with each club partner to better understand what they're trying to optimize for, and work with them to create a unique acquisition or onboarding strategy for their clients. It's just so dynamic with so many different clubs using digital in different ways, right? So we first want to figure out hopefully this is a long-term strategy and it's not something they just want to do in the short term as a band-aid. We'll actually at times turn away folks that don't believe in the same future as us and want to continue to drive a hybrid of digital and in person. I think once we figure that out, we want to get a better understanding for whether or not this is going to be incorporated into their membership or if it will be an add-on. And once we figure that out, we try and figure out the best way to do it, whether that's, free trials for all new clients or, driving awareness through various different touch points to existing clients. So not a super difficult process, but one that does require some conversations for sure.
And I think that's incredibly important. I have a friend of mine opened her facility in Florida. The clubs are open. So she is, I think she is using an on-demand program where she charges $19 a month for people that just want to do the on-demand program. And then she does $69 for a combination of on-demand and live admission to the fitness facility. And then she does $59 for just admission to the facility. And I think this hybrid sort of offering, not so much that people are going to pay the highest price, the $69, to have both, but they may want one or the other because older adults are still wary of coming into health clubs. And until things open up, this is a very viable alternative. The other thing I see that's happening is, you brought this up, Brett. You said, is this something lasting or is this a Band-Aid? Like if you guys at home are just thinking, oh, I'll just do this for another month until my club opens up, say goodbye to that. You have to do an on-demand programming. The world has changed. It's never going back. I know people are going to clamor to go back in the health club, and I do hope the memberships that combine on-demand and live programming, that's what people are going to pay that extra for. It also will help secure your members so that if they go out of town, like Chicago's going to be cold starting October, November, people scoot down to Florida or over to Arizona, and I lose my clients. I don't want to lose my clients. This is a way to keep them connected. Now, Patty, you were talking about, do you recommend them using the instructors that are actually in the health club to be teachers for the facility? Or do you recommend them plucking people out and doing these Instagram stars? What are your thoughts on what the clubs can actually offer? And then we're going to talk about money, because I'm getting a couple questions about money.
So when it comes to I think it's pretty two different things here. But when it comes to the clubs, they should absolutely be creating these hybrid programs for their instructors, also for their own brand. But they should give, my personal opinion is, I think they should give some flexibility to the instructors right now to let them also build out and be able to contact their client base outside of the brand of the club. But if you're someone that is, like a small studio, if you're starting out, if you're a boutique and you're still growing your client list, my single biggest piece of advice for people to get started with these online programs is actually just to start building out an email list. You don't necessarily, you don't need something, a big fancy email platform or anything like that. You don't even need to use Uscreen right now. You could create just open up a MailChimp account, for example, and just capture the email addresses and just regularly stay in touch with people like you would a friend or anyone else, and just say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing this week. If you're interested in learning more, come and jump on. Here's the Zoom link. And then obviously, there's other ways that you can monetize it, but getting your students' data, like their email address and who they are and what they like and don't like, is going to be really critical. And that's really going to be the only way that you're going to be able to grow, going forward. You need to be able to contact them.
Okay. And Brett, when we were chatting on Friday, you brought up the topic of, do we want these classes to be live stream classes, or do we want this to be a ghost class? I was like, a ghost class? And I like, do we want the pre-recorded, and do we also want live? And can you record the live stream classes?
Yeah, I think that's a good talking point for sure, Sarah. I think, when we look at moving from what was purely a analog world or an in-person world, in most cases, into a hybrid of digital and in-person, I think it's important to understand that in-person is probably always going to be better, at least as it relates to fitness. So we believe in creating dynamics that not only allow people to access digitally, but also optimize for more in-person communication. So to dial back in on that question, I think it's totally, again, a business logic decision. What is the independent instructor, or what is the business trying to solve for? Are they trying to get more value from what they're already doing, or are they trying to do something new? And I think that is a distinctly different opportunity, and would likely have you using distinctly different products for sure. So again, are you planning on recording classes that are being executed to deliver an in-person experience? So are there going to be, a dozen participants in this class that you're recording? Or is this going to be what we've been calling a ghost class, where it's just you teaching to digital participants with no in-person participants?
And that's a very interesting concept, because during the pandemic, everybody, I think a lot of students wanted to feel like they were part of something, because they were so socially isolated. Meaning I want to see my instructor. I want to be able to choose who I like. But having the opportunity to also offer a ghost class, which means I want to film a class and I want it to be gorgeous. I want my studio clean. I don't want anyone behind me messing up the choreography. I want it professional looking. And if I'm a great instructor, I saw people checking in. I saw people from the Philippines, and we've got people on this webinar from Australia and from Canada, and they can all watch these classes from all over the world if it's got that professional air. And I will tell you, interestingly enough, I do not believe on demand is really going to detract at all from the live club experience as well. Peloton does a huge convention in New York City where they attract thousands and thousands of participants, where they can go and physically see their favorite instructor. So it works both ways, guys, building out. Victoria, do you find more success with these filmed classes, would you say, or from this live experience? And I did see a question about music that I have to ask. I will make sure I get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say we're seeing people really pick a side here. A lot of people who have decided we want to pre-record and we want to put that out there, and we really want this library to grow and kind of have almost what we call passive income, where people pay for a membership and they have these videos at their fingertips. But I would probably say the majority are doing live classes. I think what probably stands out for what is similar for our community, what we see a lot of the time is instructors have a pretty strong following. A studio is really important to the community, so people are doing what they can to support them, and they want to still have that feeling and maybe see people from class. They chat in gallery view 10 minutes before the class starts. So I think we're finding that the live classes are definitely the most popular with people who tend to use Punchpass and tend to like our product.
And how do you manage the music? And let's say I got a question about ASCAP and BMI and C-SPAC. So does the club pay the licensing fee of the instructor, or does your system pay it? How does that work?
Right. So we were originally built for live in-person classes, and so and I know we've had a little bit of discussion amongst the three of us. So I'd love to hear the responses from the other two as well. But we do sort of recommend your live, often Zoom classes that you host with your regular students. Stick to what you've been doing, or whatever you feel comfortable with. But what we recommend a lot of time for the recorded classes is recording the instructor and their instructions and their movement. And we recommend building a playlist and sharing a playlist out so that people can hit play when they start the video on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube, whatever system you use. And we think that's a really good way to still use the kind of music and get people into, feeling like it's a new, fresh class, but still, respecting your rights and access to music.
So you just provide the video and you have them play the music on their own?
Yeah, we really recommend that for pre-recorded classes.
For pre-recorded, yeah, because live streaming, you can play the music, but as soon as you record it, that's when the licensing fees come. And actually, that's why this person at the beginning, I think it was Robin, Robin asked about charging, but was talking about the music rights. And you got to use the canned kind of music if you're going to be recording it. But I think, Brett, you brought up a different point on that. Can you please share your opinion on music?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends how the content is going to be delivered, right? So what we're trying to combat against is there's this new medium or this new platform that is coming into existence, and we're going to try and folks are going to try and take laws and rules that were built for the previous world and apply them to this. And the reality is we don't know how things are going to shake out. So I think what we talk about is where can we take solace and what should we be doing? And I think as a fitness instructor, unless you're going to be working with hundreds of thousands or millions of folks, music is probably not something that you should be focused on right now, because for the most part, these businesses don't even exist yet digitally. And before we have to worry about the music, I think we should be focused on actually standing up the stores. And if they get bigger, music might become an issue. I think music will always be more of an issue for on demand than it is for live streaming. And where that class is accessible is also going to impact how important music has to be. So for us, we don't recommend that folks do anything different than what they had been doing previously.
Okay, and what do you charge for burn along? I know it's a real variety here.
Yeah, so two different ways. Burn along is free for instructors. There is no cost. Instructors can put their classes up on the platform and get paid per view. Average instructor is making between $400 and $500 a month, with the top quartile of instructors on our platform. So the top 25% making over $1,200 a month. That's for folks that want to distribute their classes to folks they don't know yet, right? So that's like, hey, I'm an instructor. I have the ability to teach great classes. I don't have any clients. I'm going to throw my classes up on Burn Along and get paid on a per view basis. On a distribution basis, so if folks want to, work with existing clients, then they're going to pay a percentage of what they're charging. So it's between $2 and $3 a month. So if you're charging, $20 a month, you're going to be making 17, and we're going to be taking 3 for the processing and administration.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask Beth, if you wouldn't mind, would you put up Burn Along's website again, if you don't mind, so that people at home can check it out later, after the webinar. And then Paddy, what do you guys at Uscreen charge for the licensing of Ustream?
Yeah, so the price starts at $99. It then scales up onto a complete custom package. And at the end, in those custom packages, you get your own iPhone, Roku, Android TV apps for your phone, all the live streaming and community features, and your memberships and recurring payments and stuff all built into one. But to start off, you can just get access to like hosting your own video on demand service. And if you buy the license on what we call an annual basis, it works out to around $99 a month.
How much a month?
$99.
99. Yeah, it's that beautiful accent of yours.
Thank you very much.
And Victoria, what are you guys charging for Punchpass?
Yeah, for Punchpass, we have 3 different plan levels, and those go from $39 a month to $89 a month. And those are, I sent Beth the link, so hopefully she'll post that as well.
Yes.
And then, and yeah, so that's, you know, we charge, again, it's a little bit based on features in terms of the pricing, but there's 3 different plan levels and they're all outlined on that page, which is also where you can sign up for a free trial.
Oh, cool. And do you have is it a 1 month free trial?
It's a 2-week free trial, but we also check in and we usually extend it based on need, so that we can make sure that it's the right system for you.
Okay.
Since I'm on support, I definitely want to make sure it's the right system before they sign up.
And for you guys at home, I mean, it sounds like every system is adaptable to what you need. But what I would suggest you guys do is sit down, talk with a few of your friends, talk with some business associates, and also within the staff at the club, or talk, you know, if you're an independent instructor, talk to another friend, figure out what you think you might want to do. Do I want to stream my classes through the health club and work with the facility? You're going to get more classes if you stay with the club. You're going to probably be able to get more revenue as well. They'll probably pay you a little bit better. I know a lot of us have stayed independent, so think about that as well. But figure it out. How many classes would you like to stream a week? Do you have any facilities that where you could record your sessions? These are things that you can think about in advance. What do you guys, like Brett, how do you recommend that people make these decisions about ghost classes, live streaming classes, and setting up various platforms?
Yeah, I think I'd again go back to what you're trying to accomplish. It's interesting, Sarah. I actually, over the last couple of days, have referred folks to both other companies on this panel, right? So I think, you know, both really great companies, and we think Burn Along does a good job too, just doing slightly different things. So for Paddy, you know, my best friend's fiance is a yoga instructor down in Austin, Texas, and she was asking me this morning, well, what should I be using? And in her case, I think Uscreen's a much better product for her than Burn Along, because she's going to charge more, right? You know, she needs to be charging $100, $200 a month, and Burn Along's not the product for that. So I think that was a case where it was pretty clear that Uscreen was probably the best solution. And then with Victoria's product, I think there's a ton of folks out there that really like Zoom, but are having a tough time managing it. And they can provide a ton of value there. So I think I'd start with, you know, looking at it from a unit economic standpoint. How much time do I have in a week? What type of return on time am I looking to get? And what are my goals for the next like 3-6 months and then into the future? And that might be able to help you figure out where to start. And I think asking a lot of questions, I know everyone on this call would be happy to chat with folks. There's definitely a lot of information out there. So,
and for Burn Along, you said that it was free, so they can post their video up, and then let's say charge $10 for it, you know, if they want to watch it. And then what is Burn Along? What's the Burn Along percentage, and what's the instructor percentage, and how is the instructor compensated for that percentage? How do they receive the funds?
Yeah, so again, 2 different ways. So one, anyone, you know, if Paddy and I are in a hotel and at a conference and we want to put a class together, right? And we put that on there. If it gets a ton of views, we're going to get paid, right? We're going to get paid between 10 and 20 cents a view. So that's not going to be super valuable if we want to drive direct acquisition to that. If we wanted to do that, we would still be charging $2 to $3. So we'd be paying Burn-Along $2 to $3 per seat per month, and then we'd be able to sell those seats at whatever we want. That's mostly for health clubs that do that. On the instructor side, it's mostly the private instructors who are doing it for free. It might do it in conjunction with other products. I don't think there's any downside in putting your classes up on Burn-Along regardless. Especially early days while the platform is maturing, Burn-Along has very large partnerships with some of the larger employers and payers in the United States whose employees are coming to the platform consistently, a lot of whom are non-fitness participants. So Burn-Along has a unique niche in the corporate wellness market, working with a lot of non-gym goers. So if you have classes already being recorded, I would advocate that you're putting them up on Burn-Along to take advantage of that passive revenue.
Oh, that's a great suggestion. And Patty, I liked that you brought up the aspect of marketing, and you said get an email list. And I'm going to tell you guys, we all need to be collecting email addresses, collect cell phone numbers so you can text people, get connected with people on Facebook and on Instagram so you can post when you're live streaming, or you can post the link to Burn-Along or Punchpass or Uscreen, wherever you're available. Collect this information. A lot of times we're very embarrassed because as personal trainers or as group fitness instructors, we haven't had the need for that. But now it seems like this pandemic has really taught us that we do require this. And for the clubs that are opening up, I know we have some boutique studio owners that are on here and independent health club owners that are on here. And they've been so consumed with cleaning their facilities, and how do I social distance, and how do I cross off, every other treadmill, and do I open my locker room and the kids club is closed, and who's on furlough, and how do I get a PPP loan? How easy is it, Patty, for somebody to sign up for Uscreen? Like, can they do it simply? Is it easy? Can I access it? Please share.
Yeah, it's super easy. As the user of the product, it's free fields: name, email, credit card, sign up, and you're good to go. And then once you're logged in, you're given a guided tour throughout. So you're told to click here. This is how you create your page. We have tons of pre-built templates, and it's just swapping out the imagery to whatever you want it to be. So if you go to like tv.wanderlust.com, who's one of our customers, and you check out their site, that's actually one of our themes there. So and it looks absolutely amazing. Now, from a usability perspective on the student side, again, they simply log into your site, your membership site, and then they just click the cards. They'll be presented with the cards they want to see, and they just click, and then way to go. It's like if they can use Netflix, they can use Uscreen. Like, it's as easy as that. And
people are used to it now. I mean, even older adults have gotten used to it. And if you have an older adult class, Kelly Roberts leads our active aging certification. She is amazing. She actually has gotten on the phone with people and talked them through how they find her. I think she was using Zoom for a little bit. Somebody asked in the chat box, how can we get these websites again? Because we're posting it here, but we're going to lose it. Beth is running our webinar tonight. She's also our partnership director. Beth, we will make sure that we will put the links to the three companies that are on this call, so that all of you at home, Monday afternoon, later in the afternoon, you'll get an email. It'll drive you to the recorded site of this webinar, and we'll put the three websites on there. So you guys can reach out to Patty and Victoria and Brett and be able to connect with them and find out about the businesses that you guys can licensing get involved with. And Victoria, we did get asked, I know you said you guys really don't recommend as much playing the music, but I will just share with you guys, I'm a lawyer. I don't practice law right now. I'm not licensed in the Philippines or in Arkansas or whatever. But you do have to pay ASCAP BMI licensing. And typically, if you're involved with a health club, you're already paying it. The club is already paying it. So if you're streaming it through the facility, it's typically just covered that way. And if these organizations reach out to you, if you get a phone call or an email from ASCAP or BMI, or some type of Facebook message, my recommendation is pay the minimum amount. Don't even talk to them. Don't tell them how many clients you have. Don't tell them how many speakers you have in your gym. Just pay the minimum amount and walk away, because they really don't have enough people, sadly, on staff right now to go and be searching. And they're more interested in people who are bootlegging, like Shawn Mendes music and selling it, elsewhere. So there's not a lot to worry about if you just comply when they address you. But Victoria, how do your students access the classes? And I know you said that they could use Zoom. What other formats can they use? And how do the students access the programming?
Sure. So one of the things that you get by signing up with Punchpass is your own customizable URL. And so that's your own site where you have your schedule, and also is where you can access your pricing. And that's what you'll send out to your email list. Hopefully you have one, as Paddy mentioned. But you can share that out, and that's where people can create a login, access the pre-recorded videos if you have them, or sign up for a class. And once they sign up, they'll get an email with, if you're setting it up as an online class, with either Zoom or, again, any live stream tool that you're using. They'll get the link and the password in an email, and we also send a reminder email 20 minutes before the class time, so that they'll be reminded to jump on the link and get started and join. So it's a pretty easy and hands-off process for instructors.
Yeah, that's great. It's pretty simple because studios need the help and instructors need the help. Now, we did get a question from Nicole. Brett, how do the instructors get paid by Burn Along? Is it direct deposit, or is it an old-fashioned check?
Sorry, I was on mute there. Again, depends on the two different ways you're using it. If it's through a health club partnership, you would get paid by your health club. If it's through Burn Along directly, you're going to get paid monthly via direct deposit.
So it's monthly direct deposit, boom, it's in.
Mm-hmm.
And you've worked with some larger facilities. Can you share with us who Burn Along also partners with?
Yeah, so Burn Along's been around for about 5 years. My company joined Burn Along over the last 6 months to activate this new sales channel working with health clubs. So our early pilot groups are with 3 health clubs in the US, Active Wellness, Club Northwest, and the Newtown Athletic Club. So we've been working with each of those groups since late February, early March. And at this point, we're really happy with how those partnerships have gone and are ready to start bringing on other folks.
Oh, that's great. So you've been doing this for almost 5 years. That's really interesting and very helpful. And then I got a question from Stephanie. Can you use music you purchased to use in the fitness facilities? And that's a musical question that gets into, can I use cover tracks, which means sound-alike music? That yes, music and power music, things like that. Yes, you can, especially for streaming. It's great for streaming. But if you're going to be recording and putting it back on, you got to use that kind of canned music. But all these companies provide that, and you can get it very inexpensively from them. We're going to do a webinar on that because we have gotten multiple questions. Are there any particular microphones that somebody asked a question about microphones? Are there any microphones that you suggest people use? I was just teaching and using my AirPods and Bluetoothing it to my computer as we were streaming, and it worked beautifully for me. Is there, Patty, do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, you could start, like, keep it like minimum viable products. You know, as you're starting out, you want to keep the costs relatively low. So yeah, use AirPods and go from there. They're great. Like, they're a couple of $100 and they do a really good job. So yeah, you can start with that. And then as you get, you know, as you're able to make more money and reinvest it back into yourself, then, you know, you can use a professional, lav mic or something like that.
Awesome. All right, I tried to get to as many questions as I could. We're at the 45-minute mark. So I'm going to let you all give us a kind of a takeaway here. And I promise you guys, Beth just put all your links in there. But for those of you at home, you need to check this stuff out. You need to get online. You need to be streaming. Do it professionally. Have these companies help you with charging and with managing, and I'm going to record and I'm going to do live stream, and how am I going to manage my business? So Patty, I'll start with you, let you give us a little bit of a closing.
Yeah, so my advice for people, you know, that want to go online, start building that email list right away. Even if you're just staying in touch with people, even if it's in your Google, in your Gmail, just make sure you're staying in touch with people on a regular basis, and ask your audience, ask your students what they want from you. Because instead of trying to think about everything that you could possibly do from and the kitchen sink, you need to just go back, and once you're building out your list, just go back and ask them, you know, when's the best schedule for them? What type of workouts are they looking for? Because by you asking what they want, then you're going to be able to take the shortcut and give it to them. And then that's when you can charge, you know, within reason, what you're worth and what's make hopefully a lot more money. But, you know, if you want to learn more, we're actually going to be hosting a live training session on June 18th, and it's going to be with KK Hartz and our team over at Uscreen. It's our Fitness Accelerator webinar. So if you're interested in learning more, just drop me an email. It's patrick@uscreen.com, and just let me know.
Great. And you
.tv, my apologies, .tv. patrick@uscreen.tv. I always get confused.
Could you type that in the chat box for everyone?
100%. I'll do that for you.
And Victoria, what would be your closing remark?
Yeah, I think if you are nervous about moving from offering free classes through Facebook Live or managing that through Zoom right now, I hope you're not afraid to start offering classes for payment. I think that what you offer to the community, especially right now, which is a time when people are looking for ways to be fit, to engage in a community, what you're offering is maybe more than you'd be offering, you know, in just any old time. So you're worth it. Please don't be afraid to charge for that and what you're offering. So that's something that we like to tell everyone, especially when this all started happening. So you're worth it. You're offering something of value to your clients. So don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to reach out. I'd say the best way to get in contact with us is from our website or hello@punchpass.com, because that way you'll either reach me directly or reach someone. We are a global company, so we have people at different time zones, so that way you'll get someone quicker. So that's what I'd recommend, and I'll add that to the chat as well.
Great, thank you so much. And Brett?
I would kind of mimic what Patty said. Just ask a lot of questions, and the only thing I'd add to that is just put out a lot of content. You know, just start creating content and ask the folks that are consuming it what they want and what they like and don't like, and kind of use that as a way to move forward and point you in the right direction.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to share my screen briefly with you guys, show you a really fun live stream mania is going to be coming back this summer. Unfortunately, we had to cancel Atlanta Mania, so please check this out. We're going to have over 150 classes. I'm going to play you just a short video here for you guys to watch.
Introducing Live Stream Mania, powered by Zoom. SCW has developed an entire fitness convention direct to your home. Interact in real time with live training alongside nationally renowned presenters. One affordable flat fee gets you access to the full schedule of sessions with no walls and no limits. Move between any of our live streaming sessions at your leisure with no pre-selected classes and no boundaries. This is our way to empower you, our SCW community. So register, earn your CECs, and get educated, because now is the perfect time to invest in yourself. Take care, and we look forward to having you at one of our many live stream Mania sessions soon.
Great. And as you guys all know, you can find all our SCW certifications. Now is the time. I think you really also need to get certified, because people are going to be coming back in the health clubs. They're scared to come back, and they want to make sure that they're not only going to get safe and effective training, you know, along with the cleanliness factor and virus-free. So check out all the certifications. We have a ton of them going on this month. Take a look on everything from nutrition to group exercise, functional training, yoga. You can see they open up. They're all $99, which is kind of cool. And you can see our wonderful webinars. I can see Brett, nice beard. Same with you. Same Patty with you. Victoria, no beard. So
No beard. Sorry, everyone.
And then
I know,
we've got
I'm looking at that. I think I got to lose the beard.
I think, yeah, you're looking mighty dark there, Brad, I'll tell you. And then we've got automating online personal training. So think about coming on Tuesday, because we've got 3 different experts that also have different businesses that offer this. And then we've got to do pulling ourselves up for reopening our facilities. And we've also got an active aging webinar coming on. So I just want to stop and just say thank you all for coming. Thank you very much, Brett, Victoria, Patty. We appreciate your time. I've seen it in the chat box. Everybody loves the information. And thank you all. And everybody have a good night. And thank you, Beth. Thank you for running
Thanks,
this.
everyone.